Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the REIMAGINE 2021 virtual conference series. I'm Roshan Mirajkar. I'm one of your hosts for this event, and I'm the project manager at MouseBelt and also the project manager for the REIMAGINE 2021 conference series. This month, our theme is History of Coins. So I have a little bit of a Mario/video game theme going on. I'm so excited to be here today with Gagan Grewal. He's the CEO at Mogul Productions. Gagan, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to speak to you here today. How have the last few months been for you and your team just being in the crypto industry? And then we can go deeper into how you got into the space and what you're working on now.
Yeah, no, for sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about the conference and really excited about what you guys are doing. So I'm really happy to be here. Excuse me. I'm going to apologize for the really bad lighting. I tried to find something that was a bit brighter, so hopefully this is turning out okay. But yeah, to just jump right into it, we've been following what's happening in the crypto space and the blockchain world, and what an exciting time to be a part of it and really be able to not only take advantage of what's going on, but really kind of see how much the adoption is being, taken on by just regular people that want to get into the industry. So really happy with what's happening in the space right now.
Yeah, that's certainly a newer theme that I've been enjoying as well. A lot of new people just learning about the technology and getting in. So for our viewers out there, why don't we get into first, tell us a little bit about what Mogul Productions is and, why you're specifically building that service. I think it's pretty interesting given the time frame right now with a lot of new people getting in, like you said.
Yeah, definitely. Let me jump into a little bit about where we came from and some of the problems that we're trying to tackle, and then I'll try to get into a really kind of simple explanation about how the platform works, right? But if you think about it, really, we are a D5-Fi, we like to call it D5-Fi, like decentralized film financing platform, to give everyone a voice in the creative process for making movies. And really what that comes from is, there's a lot of really great movies out there that aren't getting made, whether that has to do with studios not greenlighting projects, whether it's filmmakers that don't know where to go to get financing or distribution, or projects that sit on the shelf for a really long period of time. Voices aren't being heard, and we want to be able to kind of help independent filmmakers really get their content out there, and for fans to be involved in the process. So just take a quick step back from there. One of the biggest challenges in getting a movie made is financing. It's really difficult, and there's so many different types. There might be tax credits, there might be equity financing, there might be getting some financing against distribution, gap. And as difficult as it is to get financing, you can get that financing, and then you still don't know if there's going to be an audience that wants to watch your movie. And if there is an audience, how are you going to get distribution? And then where are you going to get distribution? There's just a ton of hurdles out there. And same for financiers, people that want to get behind movies and be able to support them. There's very little data out there for them to be able to determine which movies to put their money behind, which ones fans want to see. And so what we've really done and what we've really been working on is creating a platform for creative people to get their vision out there in front of fans to engage and kind of take a look at, hey, what are some potential movies coming out? And then financiers and contributors to be able to come together and be like, yeah, we love this project. We love how the fans feel about this project. And we want to we want our money to go towards this.
Yeah, it sounds like a really great idea, something that we need right now. And I think you're also attacking all these different inflection points really in the industry. Can you talk to me a little bit about, are you looking to solve more of democratizing the finance industry in terms of the filmmaking side, or is it more about things like intellectual property and democratizing that?
I think it's kind of everything goes very hand in hand, right? You can't really democratize the film financing side of it without including the intellectual property side of it as well. What we're really trying to do, again, is just be able to create a platform for people that have great ideas, that want to get that in front of an audience, and want to get that financed, and then be able to create a decentralized platform for people to be able to go and support these, where it's self-governing. It's a way for people to get really excited about and support the different types of movies that want to get made out there. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because what I was gonna say, it made me think of is, I'm sure you're aware of now in the crypto blockchain industry, there's the rise of NFTs are off the charts again, right? People are really receptive to these things. So I was going to say that, do you think that this year is going to be the year that people kind of participate in more of these creative outlets that you're talking about? Or do you think that it's still a couple of years away and it still needs to mature? Specifically I guess the video and the film industry, because the way I see it, that's an industry that's, controlled by a lot of larger Goliaths. So what would you tell people out there, I guess, the same way that artists are, coming on board these NFT platforms, what would you tell the filmmakers or the creative people out there that have not been given the opportunity and don't really know a lot about crypto and blockchain? I want you to distill it down for those people and kind of learning more about what's hard for them, I guess.
Well, I think sorry, it's I'm just going to take a bit of a step back from that, because I think there's a couple of different things there, right? And I think what we need to do is take a look at what 2021 has been for blockchain, and what 2020 in the last few years has been kind of running into it, especially with what's been happening in that market, right? And the recent kind of run of crypto has been a really great validation for the blockchain industry. I think the fact that there are so many different people and companies and groups that are getting excited about NFTs really kind of shore up how mainstream things are becoming, and how much more people are open to kind of getting involved in the space. We started building Mogul out 2.5 years ago, when the market was much less mature than it is now, and we're seeing amazing excitement right now that we've when we launched our beta a year ago, let's say, to where we are now, like, we're just seeing just tons of excitement, tons of people getting right behind it, and just really great industry-wide market conditions, right? Could this have happened without the rise of NFTs and without the rise of what's been happening in the industry in blockchain and crypto and Bitcoin? Maybe, but I think that, again, everything that's been happening in the space over the last little while has just been really strong validation for what's happening in the industry.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great viewpoint. It's kind of like building blocks on top of each other, and to get more and more people involved. I think, yeah, the first they have to really see the benefit to them and how it makes things better. So I think a lot of what you're talking about is sort of creating an entirely new market, both on the creative side and the finance side. So that's pretty interesting.
And there's definitely challenges with that too. It's when you're creating a market and industry from scratch, in a way, it comes with challenges for sure.
So I want to ask you, what effect do you think, what you're building, and really, I guess, zooming out more at a macro level, what effect do you think, you'll have in terms of influencing that pop culture movement? Like, I guess years ago, we've seen Bitcoin slowly made its way into pop culture. Now with a lot of the things you're working on as well, we've seen like a lot of new celebrities, even people like Soldier Boy, rappers, and like Lindsay Lohan, like everyone's tweeting about crypto, or they're trying to learn in some new form. So do you think that, what value do you think like celebrities and producing more of these, I guess, decentralized films has? I guess you can answer from like a macro level.
Yeah, I think there's going to be, I really think there's going to be two different parts to it, right? One of the things that I think we talked about this earlier, was like the patterns of technology adoption, right? And I think right now, having celebrities endorse and people get really excited about the projects, that brings more attention to it, and it shows that people that we relate to are excited about something, and if they're excited about something, then we get excited about something, and that's when you really move from the early adopters to the early majority adopters. And I think that's really exciting. and that kind of creates that validation there. And when it comes down to, you know, what we're creating and how I think we're going to affect what's happening in pop culture and all these different pieces is, you know, it's really difficult to gain access to Hollywood. It's really difficult to get your movies made, to get anyone to look at your content. What Mogul is doing and what we're doing is we're opening this access up to creators. And really what we're doing is we're asking the fans, by getting them involved in the entire process, like, what is it that you want to see? What do you want to watch? You know, why? We want to understand their needs, and then we want to translate that to data for the creators to be like, look, this is what people want to see, and this is what you're putting together. Let's get you some feedback on this. And what we've done is we've really, you know, been working on this again for about 2.5 years, and it's about building up the right team. So making sure we had the right people in that entertainment space to be able to tell us, hey, what works, what doesn't work. But again, to be able to create flexibility and excitement for everyone else, right? So not Mogul specifically, but our team has been working in the industry for, you know, 20 plus years. They've won, you know, Oscars and Emmys and, you know, close to 100 feature films. I don't want to get into all the crazy stuff about the numbers that they've done in terms of sales revenue, but, you know, they've come to us and they've said, look, we've been in the industry for a number of years. These are the things that we would have liked to see when we were coming in. But not only that, they're things that we want to see now. And so when we build out a platform and you start a project kind of built for people and they're telling you what they need, it's much easier to, you know, to do that for someone who's been in the industry, and then, you know, take that and translate it to something for people that haven't been part of the industry, and then kind of overcome some of the challenges that they're going to come across.
Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting, you know, that you kind of have like industry veterans that are, you know, from Hollywood on your team, because that sort of gives them that industry expertise to sort of create a better system. Why do you think that more of Hollywood hasn't been involved in the crypto industry? You know, do you think that the pop like what you said about the community, do you think it's always going to stay like a grassroots community where you have people always talking to each other and like really controlling these platforms, or do you think that like more celebrities or Hollywood will want to tell more stories about our industry, quote unquote?
I think that, you know, it's a two-part question, right? One is, you know, what direction are we heading in and what's been the hesitation for people to get involved, I think is one. The first part of that question. I think the second part of the question is, are people going to want to become more involved? And to answer that first question, you know, I can talk to you about my experience in the space as well. Like, I started to learn about blockchain in 2014, but it didn't really catch my attention until about 2017, right? And that's when everything was happening in the space and projects were coming up and new companies were being launched. And it was really like the technology and the transparency that really started to get my attention and get me excited. But like most people, I didn't really understand, you know, the difference between blockchain and Bitcoin and Ethereum and ICOs and mining and ledgers and all of this stuff. And because I didn't understand it, I was kind of afraid of it, if you will, right? And I think now it's becoming more mainstream. So people are starting to not be as afraid of it. And those that understand the technology are sharing it with people. And I think that's kind of one big component of you know, having people adopt a new technology. And then when it comes down to, let's say, whether it's, you know, celebrities that are getting involved and want to get excited about projects, like, you know, we launched our platform about a week ago. We've got 9 movies up on our showcase right now. These are some really amazing projects with people that have been creating films in the space for years. And there's a really cool blockchain project on there with the Garcia brothers. You know, it's called HODL, and I think it's a really neat project because what it is, it's, you know, this guy who I don't want to give it away, but, you know, go to the website, go check out mogulproductions.com, sign up, and take a look at the movies that are being showcased in there, because I do think that, you know, again, adoption is coming. People are getting excited about it, and I think more and more people are going to get involved, whether they're a celebrity or a normal person like you or I that are just getting excited about things.
Yeah, definitely. And congrats on launching your platform. I also encourage everyone to check it out because it's something new. And yeah, a lot of the trends that you're talking about, I think they're already validated in some sense of like when you look at how Netflix transformed everything and how much independent shows they're creating. But it's still, the answer is like who can get to Netflix? It's still hard to get there. So I think it's great that you're democratizing access to everything. Now I kind of want to go into like talking about the future of the product that you're building itself, and I also want to get your thoughts on the future trends of our space in terms of just NFTs, collectibles, and what I was going to say is I want to learn a little bit more about are you saying that it's a new market that you're also creating? Like I could kind of invest in a indie film before it pops off or something like that. It seems like that's more so the case, but I'll let you sort of talk about what you can currently do on the platform and really what your end goal is, because you mentioned that you sort of launched 2 weeks ago, and I know there's more uh, developments coming up.
Yeah. So our platform launch was about a week ago. We're getting ready for our mainnet launch for spring of this year, towards the end of March, and we're still kind of working out all the final pieces when it comes to like the legality and our accounting team regarding the compliance and all those kind of pieces, on the platform when it comes to contributing towards and the profit sharing that comes from the films. But what we've really tried to do here is, regardless of anybody's user experience when it comes to crypto or blockchain or investing in those things, we've created a smart wallet which is very secure, very easy to use. You don't have to worry about the mnemonic phrase or any of those kind of pieces. It's right through our platform. You're able to log in. You're able to, you will be able to create a wallet once mainnet launches. And at that point, like right now, you can actually sign up and get whitelisted for our stars platform, which are our stars, which is kind of like our in-app currency, if you will, and get ready to be. Sorry, I'm going to go back here for a second because I get really excited about this, right? So like right now you can go in, you can sign up, you can log in, you can take a look at all the movies we have in the showcase, and you can engage in the platform and comment on the movies and just kind of chat about those, right? But what's really exciting is the mainnet launch that's coming up. And with the mainnet launch, that's going to be our smart wallet launch. That's going to be the ability to purchase these membership accesses, which is like our in-app currency, grab these stars that can be redeemed for some really cool rewards out there, like on-set visits, autographed scripts, NFTs, exclusive events that you wouldn't otherwise have access to, maybe a launch party, just some really cool stuff, right? And the more you engage in the platform, the more stars you're able to earn. The more stars you earn, and depending on what tier you sit on, the cooler things you can be rewarded for with that. And again, all this kind of revolves around the smart wallet, what we're doing there. And the goal is to be decentralized finance, like you're talking about. When revenue is coming in, it's these group of people that are able to, govern and determine where a percentage of this money is going and how it's being allocated.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting that you have all these different elements, like including governance. Why? So, can you tell me a little bit about why you guys are even thinking about adding governance? Because again, coming back to like Hollywood and larger media, even how if you look at how are things like the Oscars determined? Like, sure, there are some influence from the majority of people, but when it comes down to it, it's like less than 20 people or something like that, right? Can you tell me a little bit about I'm just trying to get a sense of because if you still zoom out, like, even outside of our industry, it's like a lot of the media that we're seeing everywhere, or people getting famous, it's very like low, I would say low scale. Like you have the ability to just put something out there. So trying to get a sense of, do you think that those trends will continue? Like these people will come into the crypto space, or do you think that, I don't know, we'll just discover new talent that's somewhere else that hasn't been served before, right?
Yeah, I do think that, okay, first, I can't really comment on, let's say, the Oscars because I don't know the process, right? But I do know that one of the things that we want to provide is transparency. Transparency, accountability, and we want to reward those people that are participating in our platform and the system. And blockchain is definitely the right technology to do that. We've created this quadratic voting system, which really limits like vote buying, for example. So, if you're voting for a movie with your stars, your first vote counts for more, and your second vote counts for a little less, and the third a little less, and the fourth a little less, and onward. So it's really about, again, democratizing and creating audience participation without that vote buying. So I do think that that addresses one of the things that you're chatting about right now, which is giving other people an opportunity to come in and become stars and to get content created. We're focusing on independent films in that $5 million and less space, and there's a lot of really great movies that get made in that kind of range. And you can take a look at movies like they're the obvious ones, like Lost in Translation and Saw and Napoleon Dynamite and Garden State. But then there's some really good recent movies that have come out and have really kind of created stars and directors as well. You've got Get Out with Jordan Peele, um, you know, Buried with Ryan Reynolds. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds is a bit of a star to begin with, but low budget movie and did really well. Um, Ryan Gosling years ago did a movie called Blue Valentine. It was a lower budget and kind of helped showcase his different abilities in terms of how diverse he was in his acting. So yeah, I think that by creating this platform and allowing people to be able to come in and get engaged and get rewarded for being engaged, I think there's going to be a lot of potential for new and up and coming people to get discovered. And then not only that, I think there's going to be a lot of potential for people that we're excited about that maybe don't get as many opportunities as they used to get, for us to be able to see them in films again as well.
Yeah, definitely. Lot of ideas there, and you guys are doing a lot too. But I think that paints a clearer picture about what exactly you guys are, I guess, tackling first, because I think there are a lot of different vectors to what you're making in terms of both on the, I guess, half of it is the content creator side, but the other half is also external, I guess, financiers and different people that can also benefit from an industry that they couldn't invest in. Can you talk a little bit about the future trends related to that in terms of, you mentioned that the Hollywood industry is sort of, it's very hard to get into, from both sides, right? Can you talk a little bit about, do you see it as more crypto people getting involved in something like Mogul Productions, in terms of, if I knew nothing about media, but I see this as a way to kind of invest in the long-term success of, like, maybe my friends or something like that are skilled, right, at being a good artist. Can you talk a little bit about the long-term trends related to that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, for both audiences. I think it's going to be for the crypto audience, and I think it's going to be for the non-blockchain audience as well, right? We went live, like I mentioned last week. We had over 6,000 people sign up on our platform within 24 hours, which was just amazing for us, and it really shows and helped validate what we've been working on. And we're expecting a lot of users and transactions that are going to be coming up. And if you take a look at, okay, just a quick step back, you know, whether you're a user in the film industry or not the film industry, you have a certain expectation of speed and finality that can only be offered right now through like a layer two. And so we're actually working on, which I think is going to be a really exciting partnership and announcement coming out in the next little while, with an industry leading layer two solution, which I think is really going to kind of help open that user experience and onboarding to the masses, right? Like, we're talking about DeFi Fi, it's going to remain our top priority, and it's going to really make it easy for anybody to be a part of it and support those projects. And it doesn't matter if you were blockchain, non-blockchain, crypto, non-crypto, film, non-film. It's really it's about that user experience, that user journey, and really making sure that people have a good time while they're on there.
Yeah, okay, that's really great to hear, and I'm excited to check out all of the new features. Do you also think this will change the mainstream trend of how people really, I guess, view their money itself? Like, I'm not sure. Like, so on the platform itself, are you imagining? Because you mentioned something about a wallet in the future per se. So, are you imagining something where an artist or someone who's creative, you can sort of do all of these different functions all in one place? I think right now it's kind of fragmented where if you're a artist or someone talented, you kind of lose these different, you lose a lot of funds at different layers as you go down. And what I mean by that
Yeah.
is, yeah, you can kind of take it away if you got the
Yeah,
main
no, I
gist
was going
of
to
this.
say that's a very good question. Like what we're doing is we're really creating a platform which takes care of everything for you, or not, like, I can't say everything for you, but which tries to make things easier, right? So it's about the smart wallet we created. We built that out from scratch. It's about you being able to log into your profile. If you are somebody who's in the space right now, you upgrade your profile and you attach your IMDb profile to it as well. You get to submit projects to us directly through that. You have a smart wallet that shows how many stars you have, the different things that you can access through our rewards platform. Even if you're not in the creative space, or you're not like an upgraded member in terms of in the industry, but you're a fan, you create your profile, you take a look at the smart wallet, you see which tier you belong to in terms of the different types of rewards you can access. You get to see your stars balance on there. You get to be a part of that, that profit sharing component that we're talking about. It all happens within the platform. And that's the idea, is to make it just really easy for anybody to be able to access it, and all happens right there.
Got it, got it. So it's like a all-inclusive platform, and you have all of those different opportunities to get involved. Like you don't have to be
Yeah,
one
as
specific type of
many
person.
things as we can. One of the things that we did for the first 1,000 users that signed up is you got an NFT. Like, we've designed this really cool NFT, and so that's going to be in your wallet as well. And so we've got again some really cool partnerships coming up. We're going to be making some more announcements on some really great original works for some additional NFTs that are going to be coming out. Those will be in your wallet. Your stars tokens will be in your wallet. Your ability to vote will be through your wallet. Staking is going to be introduced. There's a lot of really cool pieces coming together, and we're putting it all together to make that user experience really easy and seamless.
Yeah, I saw that. I believe recently it was a partnership with Chainlink that you announced for the governance, and I thought that was pretty interesting too, because it seems that every single, I guess, content creation platform right now, whether it's NFTs or managing music, whatever that content is, everyone is always having this governance aspect, and I think it's a good incentive as well. I don't know if you'd agree, like the governance type of token. So can you talk a little bit about, like, what do you think the future of governance is? Like, I think right now we have like some level of governance where people control like some of these NFT platforms, and they get rewarded in some of the tokens. And that's kind of like a good flywheel effect. Like, it's just supporting all the different pillars in the app. Do you sort of think about it in the same way, or are you saying that your governance process, from what I've read, is more about like transparent voting, and that would touch on some of the things that we kind of talked about a couple of minutes ago, in terms of just deciding like what is the best, or letting the people decide, right? Is that what it's more so about, and
Yeah,
what's the
I think the
future of that?
governance. Yeah, I think the governance is really important, and it's a couple of different things, like you touched on, right? It's not just transparency in voting. It's not just transparency in revenue that's coming in or expenses going out. I think it's about accountability, right? And I think that the partnership with Chainlink even really helps solidify that for us. And again, this layer 2 that we're going to be announcing. um, we've talked about adoption a couple of times kind of throughout this call, and I think again that governance is really crucial to that component as well, is because if you want to get people excited, you want to get people on board, you have to show them that you're not going to take advantage of that. And I think that's what this community is about. I think it's about working together and trusting each other and peer-to-peer decentralization, all those things. And governance is definitely a huge, huge part of that.
Got it. And yeah, so what's the future? What are future governance, I guess, aspects that you'd like to explore? Like, are more so you envision this is where people control most of the platform, like most of the decisions, and I guess also the improvements. So, what do you think in the future? Like, you know, to kind of end things off a bit here, what power do you think? What can people do with that power? Is I guess what I'm trying to say collectively. Like we haven't really seen it in the past, right? Do you think it can sort of overpower a lot of these, you know,
Oh,
traditional
I don't
people
know,
that
man. That's a really good question. You know, I'd really have to spend some time to think about that one a bit more. Just because there's so many components to it. I'm excited to see what that's going to be and how it's going to all roll out. Like, I think it's going to be really cool over the next little while just to see what it all translates to. But I definitely don't have an answer for that. I'm probably just as excited as you are to see it, though.
Got it. So then to end things off, I'll just ask you one question. What do you think will be what do you think will be the trends for 2021, just related to content? You know, what do you think the end of the year looks like in terms of, I guess, a lot of the activities that people are doing in the space? You know, do you think that the media side might eclipse a lot of the financial applications, at least this year?
Sorry, do you mean for us specifically, or like?
You can answer this just for you specifically, or just in general. Just want to get a gist of where you'll be at the end of the year.
Yeah, you know, so if I was talking about Mogul, like you know, like we mentioned earlier, like right now users can sign on, can create an account, have a chance to be whitelisted for future access to stars tokens. They can check out the films in the showcase, and those are the ones that will be voted on with stars when the platform is released on mainnet coming up. So I think we're really excited about that in terms of what 2021 is going to mean for us. And then when it comes down to the content side, I think, yeah, you know, we're getting a lot of people that are very excited about having their content shown. And we have a lot of users getting really excited and jumping into the showcase and getting involved in the conversations there. So really growing that, making the user experience great and strong and fun for everyone. And continuing along that trajectory, I think is what we're forecasting for 2021 and really excited about.
Yep, excited to hear more about your platform, see more development, and also just the industry in general. I think a lot of people in Hollywood are getting more involved in the space. Gagan, thank you so much for coming on the Reimagine 2021 series. So glad to speak to you. And I'll let you all tune back into Reimagine 2021 V7 History of Coins. Thank you.